Hello boys and girls. I think it's March 13th. Let's do a little equipment tour, see where I've come in the last several months of gathering stuff. Right here, 1948 Super C. It ran and drove when I got it, but it had a bunch of stuff that was cobbled up on it. And it's got a freeze plug in the back of the motor that is leaking. My plan is this is going to be my cultivating tractor this year. I've got an order of parts coming from, what is it, Steiner's. Man, the fan hub was like 75 bucks off there. I mean, they were cheaper than like eBay and Amazon, but I need to get that. I'm going to run it with the leaky freeze plug. Not too worried about it leaking, like all the coolant out. I'll just have to watch it. I've got, these cultivators are in bad shape, but I've got another set I'm going to actually put on here. Front end is wore out, this front bolster on here. That one's broken, and man, those holes are rough. This right here is a 1974 International Cub. This was bought by my grandfather in, well, 1974. First tractor most of us used here on the farm, and it will be my main mowing machine since I sold all my John Deere stuff, you know, to speed this process of agricultural awesomeness up. Oh, I love it. Look at that dirt. Oh, it's so fresh. So fresh, so fresh. Oh, I love tilled ground. Garlic is looking good, I think. I know that has nothing to do with equipment. I just like to share. We're having a big problem with moles this year. And I think you got moles because grub worms, maybe they eat the grub worms, if I remember correctly. Projects for this summer. There's a well right there, hand dug. It's not deep, but I want to get that cleaned out to see if it is something I could maybe use. I need to get this stuff picked up. It's the remnants of a shelf or a shed that was there. Anyways, had a buddy give me this running gear. It's actually like 1950s International Harvester running gear. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a shame the front and rear wheels don't match. I don't know which ones are original and which ones aren't. And the back one, I got one of them that's really rusted out. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do for wheels and tires on this. Well, tires are no big deal. I can just do anything, you know, any 16-inch. A trailer. It was actually Mom's. We used it for catering. Here is approximately a 1963 Case MRB plow. I don't think I'm going to need to use it this year. I thought I was. It was always in a hurry to get one, but I've done some changing, and I'm not going to be plowing my whole front yard up like I had anticipated. I'm actually right on the back side of those woods. Here's a pulverizer. I don't think I'm going to use this. Maybe my brother got this with a load of something else he bought. I can't remember. Finally got everything out of the front yard. It's all been sitting out here for the last month or two. Want to kind of get it up. People have been stopping asking how much I want for this or that. Nothing, sir. I'm just a mess. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I plan on burning that burn pile tomorrow. These two little trees right here are pear trees. They're actually getting cut down. I've got them too close to the driveway. Now that we have 3 people driving, I need to kind of change the flow of the driveway. I need to widen it a little bit there and widen it a little bit there. So I'm going to move those. I'm not overly keen on where those pear trees or those peach trees are right there are planted, but that'll work. Now see, here's the problem. Those blooms, I might have to set fire underneath there to try to save those blooms. But we're not talking about peach trees and pear trees. I speculate this Allis planter here is probably 50s or 60s from what I can tell. It was old and wore out when Dad restored it back in the 80s. One thing I noticed, cord showing on this tire. Wasn't like that when I picked it up. That has just started since I aired it up when I brought it over here. This thing's in great shape. I've got probably 25 different corn plates for it. So that's going to be my main corn planter. Right here, I've got a 19, I think it's a 51 Farmall Super C. Supposedly had a locked up engine when I got it. Maybe me towing it around, you know, dragging it or letting it rock in gear, freed something up. I've had it running and driving. We used it to move all these railroad ties down here, Jackson and I did. And as soon as it got warm, it just pootered out to nothing. And now it's doing next to nothing, you know, as far as even idling up. So I swapped carbs on it just to see. Could be fuel related. But then the hydraulics are stuck on that. And it's a combination mainly of this whole assembly would all have to be pulled apart. This tractor's in a lot worse shape than the 48. And you know, and I was thinking, the Super C is a better tractor because it's got a water pump. But you know, that's a 1948 Farmall C over there that has run since 1948 with very little issues. Anywho, tailor-made plow right there. That's probably 80s, I would assume. And I think it's a 1974 International 464, which is my big workhorse. I also bought new by my grandfather. And it runs and drives great, except for a slight fuel issue. And I think there's something in the fuel tank that's clogging it up, which is what my brother and I thought anyway. So I took out all the fittings, all the lines, cleaned everything, drained everything, did everything. So I think it's bigger around than the drain tube. That's why it's not coming out. And I can't see that side of the tank where the pickup is. Other side looks good. So what I may end up doing is actually switching the fuel crossover, flipping everything 180 degrees. So it'll still bleed the two sides together, but the pickup will be on this side. I just upgraded to these Pat's Easy Hook Latch or something, I think is what they're called. Me just playing around the yard with them. Those are slicker than snot. I'll actually do a review and a video on those once I play with them a little bit more. Last but not least, my truck. A 2004 Chevrolet 3500. It does have the 6.0 in it. Horrible fuel mileage, absolutely horrible. But somewhat dependable. Had another friend that hooked me up with this and just basically let me pay whatever he owed on it. Bed was rusted out. I had the service bed on it. Service bed was too heavy. And I built this wooden flatbed just for a temporary thing. Only cost like $278 for the bed and the lights. But you know, the more I have it here and the more I use it, the more I absolutely love it. So it may be staying. Whew, the wind. So along with, you know, the tractors and the stuff like that, I am in the process of trying to clean all this stuff up. You know, working on building shelves in here, as I had mentioned a couple videos ago, to get all my chains and everything hung up in here so I can try to keep track of that stuff. I mean, I got crap everywhere. But it'll be okay. Anyways, like I say, I just wanted to do a quick video, you know, showing roughly kind of what I got going as far as equipment and, you know, just feeling good about life, you know, thanking God for whatever his plan is for me. And I don't know what the end result's going to be. You know, am I gearing up to plant mass amounts of food for the end of mankind as we know it? I don't know. Am I gearing up to plant lots of crops for saving seed? I don't know. I will figure it out as the season comes and goes. You know, maybe this is just meant to be an experimental year. I don't know. We'll just have to play with it and see. Anyways, I just wanted to do a quick little tour of my equipment. And, you know, I'm dealing with a lot of old iron here, but I'm going to try to make it work the best I can. Anyways, this is David with Barely a Farm. I appreciate all you guys subscribing and commenting and all that good stuff. Everything you do is greatly appreciated. Anyways, you guys be good, and we'll see you next time.